Diddy really screwed up, and I'm not referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now, but it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested. If you've seen the Netflix documentary about Diddy, Diddy The Reckoning, which 50 Cent produced, there's some footage there that had never been seen before. This is a photographer that Diddy hired to follow him around and document his life.
They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down.
You know how they say history is written by the victors? Well, in this case, the victor isn't just rewriting history. He's burning the original draft right in front of us. And the man watching his life's work go up in flames? The same guy who spent 20 years convincing the world he was untouchable. We're not talking about a rap battle here. We're talking about a financial execution. One where the bullets aren't lyrics, they're lawsuits, leaked footage, and a Netflix documentary that's already changed everything. The wildest part? The man pulling the trigger isn't even hiding it. He's posting the receipts. He's laughing while he does it. And the guy on the other end? For the first time in his career, Jay-Z has no response. None. Because when the allegations involve federal crimes, when your name's in the same lawsuit as a man already in prison, when your own investors start asking questions they've never asked before, well, even the best PR team in the world can't spin that. This isn't about who had the better album. This is about who survives. And right now, the odds aren't looking good.
That footage ended up going to 50 Cent and his production company, and it's kind of the centerpiece.
Sold to them.
Yes, was the centerpiece of the documentary. So watch this particular scene, because this is where a lot of people feel Diddy really screwed over someone that he should be very, very thankful for.
So right now, as we speak, Jay-Z's empire is cracking. And the cracks all lead back to one explosive claim, that he wasn't just Diddy's friend, but his accomplice. And 50 Cent? He's the one holding the detonator. The documentary Sean Combs. The Reckoning didn't just expose Diddy's alleged crimes. It dragged Jay-Z into the spotlight, whether he wanted it or not. Sources describe footage so explosive it could end careers. Not rumors, not hearsay. Actual visual evidence, reportedly showing Jay-Z at those infamous private gatherings where Diddy's downfall began. And the timing? Too perfect to ignore. Diddy gets arrested in September 2024. By December, Jay's named in a lawsuit alongside him. Coincidence? 50 doesn't think so. Forbes insiders tell us major backers are pulling funds. Terrified Jay's next.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
We're not talking about a few nervous calls. We're talking about a full-blown exodus. The kind that happens when high-net-worth individuals start seeing legal exposure as a bigger risk than market downturns. And Jay's team? They're scrambling. His PR machine is working overtime, burying stories, buying off outlets, and, according to 50, even digging up dirt on him in return. But here's the problem. When the allegations involve minors, when they tie into a federal racketeering case, when they're backed by a Netflix documentary with first-hand accounts, the usual damage control doesn't work. This isn't a tabloid scandal. This is a financial fire drill. And the flames? They're spreading fast. Here's what doesn't add up. Jay-Z spent years playing the untouchable mogul, philanthropist, Grammy darling, the guy who transcended rap. But behind the scenes, 50's documentary alleges he was deep in Diddy's world, at those notorious LA and Hamptons parties. Maybe even worse. And the timing? Suspicious. Diddy gets indicted. Jay gets sued. Then the documentary drops, and suddenly, the questions aren't just about Diddy anymore. They're about Jay. Why won't he sue for defamation? Why did his team delete that one Instagram post from 2006? And why are his closest allies, like Beyonce's team, suddenly silent? That silence isn't golden. It's deafening.
At this point, I would want, why?
Let's rewind to those parties. The ones that made Diddy's name and, according to lawsuits, ruined lives. The White Party wasn't just a celebrity bash. It was a power move. A place where careers were made, where favors were traded, where the rules didn't apply. And Jay-Z? He wasn't just a guest. He was a fixture. Photos from 2006 show him there, front and center, alongside the same figures now at the heart of Diddy's legal nightmare. Neighbors in Beverly Hills told the BBC they called the authorities over what they saw. Young individuals leaving those parties disoriented, vulnerable, some not even old enough to drive. Now, with Diddy facing trial in May 2025, those same parties are under a microscope. And Jay's name keeps coming up. Then there's the lawsuit, the one that dropped in December 2024, accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of assaulting a minor in 2000.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
The accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, didn't just name Diddy. He added Jay-Z, claiming both were involved in an incident after the MTV Video Music Awards. Jay's response? A furious denial, calling the claims ridiculous and accusing Busby of blackmail. But here's the thing. Busby isn't some random ambulance chaser. He's the same lawyer who's been dismantling Diddy's empire piece by piece, with over a dozen lawsuits now on the books. And he's not backing down. If even a fraction of these allegations stick, Jay's not just facing a PR crisis. He's facing a legal reckoning. Meanwhile, 50 Cent isn't just watching from the sidelines. He's fueling the fire. His documentary didn't just expose Diddy, it painted Jay as complicit, as someone who benefited from the same culture of silence. And the fans? They're listening. Social media's split, but the momentum's shifting. Memes of Jay in handcuffs are everywhere. Investors are nervous. And 50? He's laughing all the way to the bank because for the first time, the narrative isn't about his past controversies. It's about Jay's. The man who built his brand on being untouchable is suddenly looking very, very touchable. But here's where it gets even messier. The Super Bowl. Remember 2022? When 50 Cent crashed the halftime show hanging upside down like a human chandelier? That moment almost didn't happen. Why? Because according to 50, Jay-Z, whose Roc Nation co-produces the halftime show, tried to block him. They didn't want me there, 50 said point blank. Eminem reportedly threatened to pull out if 50 wasn't included. And just like that, the performance went on. But the question lingered. Why would Jay care so much? Unless this wasn't about music. Unless it was about control.
There's a lot of people, 50, I feel like he don't have to say nothing, but 50's crazy. He's been like this his whole life. When he's on the block, oh, 50's coming.
Fast forward to now, and the pattern's clear. Jay's not just fighting 50, he's fighting a perception. That he's not the clean-cut mogul he claims to be. That behind the philanthropy and the Grammys, there's a side he's kept hidden. And 50's not just throwing punches, he's landing them. Every meme, every documentary clip, every lawsuit references another crack in the foundation. Because here's the reality. In the court of public opinion, Jay-Z's losing. And in the court of law, that's where the real danger lies. The documentary's already out. The lawsuits are piling up. And Jay's response? Radio silence, except for that one statement calling the claims heinous. But silence doesn't work anymore. Not when the allegations involve a minor. Not when Diddy's already in jail. Not when 50 Cent's got the receipts and the platform to weaponize them. This isn't just a rap feud. It's a full-blown crisis. And the clock's ticking. Because here's what we know. Diddy's trial starts in May.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock is ticking on Diddy because on Friday he finds out what his sentence is going to be. But today, he found out what prosecutors would like that sentence to be, and it is vastly different from what his attorneys have suggested to the judge. Prosecutors want him to do 11 years, just over 11 years.
The documentary's already shifting perceptions. And Jay-Z? He's running out of time to control the narrative. The question isn't if more will come out, it's when. And when it does, will Jay's empire survive the fallout? Or will 50 Cent's gambit, years in the making, finally take him down? One thing's for sure, the man who once ruled hip-hop with an iron fist is now the one on the defensive. And the man he tried to bury? He's the one holding the shovel. The only question left is how deep the hole goes. Because right now, it's getting deeper by the day. And Jay-Z? He's standing at the edge, looking down. The moment 50's documentary dropped, the dominoes started falling. And they're not stopping at Jay-Z. This isn't just about one man's reputation. It's about an entire system cracking under the weight of its own secrets. And the first domino? The Super Bowl. Remember when 50 claimed Jay blocked him from performing in 2022? Turns out, Eminem backed him up. Sources close to the production tell us Jay's team didn't just suggest keeping 50 off stage. They threatened to pull Roc Nation's entire NFL funding if he appeared. That's not beef. That's not competition. That's a power play so blatant it makes the old rap battles look like nursery rhymes. And here's the kicker. It worked. Almost. Until Eminem stepped in and said, "No 50, no me." Suddenly, the biggest stage in music became a battleground. Not for talent, but for control. And Jay-Z, he lost that round. Badly. But the Super Bowl was just the opening act. The real damage came when 50 started connecting the dots between Jay's Grammy wins and his marriage to Beyonce. 21 of Jay's 25 Grammys came after 2004. The same year he and Beyonce went public. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you're the most awarded rapper in history and the bulk of those trophies arrive after you tie your career to the biggest pop star on the planet, people are going to talk. And 50's not just talking, he's shouting it from the rooftops. His theory? Those Grammys weren't earned. They were negotiated, a package deal. the industry's way of rewarding a power couple, not just an artist. Now, let's be clear. Jay-Z had 4 Grammys before Beyoncé. But the math doesn't lie. The moment their brands merged, the awards started rolling in. And 50's question is simple. Was Jay-Z ever the best rapper alive, or just the best connected? Then there's the Diddy trial, the elephant in the room that Jay-Z's team is desperately trying to ignore.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, "You don't do a freak off, I'm going to release one of the freak off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate you."
Jay's name keeps popping up in court filings, in witness statements, in the same breath as allegations that have already put Diddy behind bars. But here's what's strange. Jay's never been called to testify, not once. Legal insiders say it's not because he's irrelevant, it's because he's the one they're protecting. Think about that. In a case this explosive, where every associate is under the microscope, the one man who isn't being questioned is the one with the most to lose. That's not luck, that's leverage. And right now, it's looking like Jay-Z's team is using every bit of it to keep him out of the crosshairs. But here's the problem. The longer he stays silent, the guiltier he looks. And silence is Jay's entire strategy. Deny everything, delete the evidence. And if that fails, buy the room. We've seen it before. The $20 million hush money rumor that surfaced last month, unconfirmed? Sure. But ask yourself, why would 50's lawyer leak that unless there's fire behind the smoke? Then there's the digital scrubbing. Jay's team erased years of Diddy party photos from his social media. But the internet never forgets. Archives exist, screenshots circulate, and every deleted post just makes people dig deeper. Meanwhile, Beyonce's been awfully quiet. No statements, no public support. Almost like she's waiting to see which way the wind blows before she decides how loud to clap back. That's not love, that's calculation. And in a crisis like this, calculation is the first sign of damage control. But the real bloodbath isn't in the courtroom. It's in the boardroom. Forbes is whispering about $1 billion hit to Jay's net worth.
Look, can't have attorneys sending these demand letters and threatening.
I mean, let's just be real for a second. There are a lot of lawyers who call this legal extortion, and that this is the way the legal system works, which is you threaten somebody with reputational harm. And in this case, it's interesting that Jay-Z, who's very wealthy, said it would be financial ruin.
Not because of bad investments, not because of market shifts, because brands are reassessing. When your name gets tied to federal investigations, when your face starts appearing in memes next to handcuffs, when your own fans start side-eyeing your legacy, corporate partners don't stick around for the explanation. They cut ties. Quietly. And that's exactly what's happening. We're not talking about a few nervous phone calls. We're talking about contracts being paused, endorsements being reviewed, and a reputation that took decades to build unraveling in weeks. The worst part? 50's winning the PR war without even trying. Fans are siding with him. The memes are brutal. And every time Jay doesn't respond, it doesn't look like dignity. It looks like guilt. Here's what nobody's talking about. The other footage. Not the Diddy party clips that made headlines, not the Super Bowl backstage drama, but the private recordings, the ones that allegedly placed Jay-Z in rooms he spent 2 decades swearing he never entered. These aren't just rumors spun up by 50's team for shock value. They're the unspoken third rail of this entire scandal, the one thing neither side will touch directly, because even acknowledging them changes the game. 50's dropped hints, cryptic captions on deleted posts, offhand remarks in interviews about footage they don't want you to see. Diddy's legal team? They've filed motions to suppress unauthorized recordings tied to the same time frame. And Jay? Silence. Not a denial. Not a lawsuit. Just a carefully curated absence of comment, the kind that speaks louder than any statement ever could.
So she testified, excuse me, that she was Diddy's ex-assistant. She said he her, sexually assaulted her in various ways multiple times. He exacted unbelievable violence against her, threatened her, one point allegedly threatened to take her phone and use anything on the phone against her.
The tapes, if they exist, aren't just damaging, they're catastrophic. We're not talking about grainy security cam clips or out-of-context party snapshots. Insiders describe them as conversations, unfiltered, unguarded moments where the masks come off. The kind of thing that doesn't just implicate, but immolates. Imagine for a second what's actually on them. Not the salacious details the tabloids would fixate on, but the business, the deals made in those rooms, the favors traded, the names dropped when no one thought the cameras were rolling. This isn't about personal scandal. It's about leverage. About proof that the carefully manicured image of Jay-Z the mogul was, at best, a half-truth. And at worst, a lie so big it required an entire industry to play along. Here's the thing about tapes like these. they don't stay buried forever.
To continue to engage in all these freak-offs with him, and he sounds really pissed off.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening.
Not in 2025. Not when every former assistant, every disgruntled collaborator, every tech-savvy hacker with a grudge knows they're the most valuable currency in town. 50's team hasn't just hinted at their existence. They've teased them, like a magician showing you the empty hat before the rabbit appears. And Jay's response? To act like the hat was never there to begin with. But here's the problem with that strategy. When you refuse to deny something, you're not just avoiding the question. You're confirming that the question matters. And in a scandal this big, what matters most isn't what you've done, it's what you're hiding. Let's play this out. If the tapes are real, they don't just implicate Jay, they erase him. Not just as a businessman, but as a cultural figure. The man who built his brand on being smarter than the room can't survive footage that proves he was just another player in it. The philanthropist, the Grammy winner, the self-made billionaire, all of it crumbles if the public sees the version of him that exists behind closed doors. But here's the twist. If the tapes aren't real, if this is all an elaborate bluff from 50's camp, then why is Jay's team acting like they're holding their breath? Why the frantic damage control, the deleted posts, the legal threats flying at anyone who even whispers about them? You don't scare a man like Jay-Z with empty threats. You scare him with proof. The most telling detail in all of this? The tapes aren't even the main event anymore. They're the distraction. While everyone's focused on whether they'll drop, Jay's quietly been moving assets, renegotiating contracts, and, according to 3 industry veterans, preparing for a scenario where he might need to step back from public-facing roles. That's not the behavior of a man who knows he's innocent. That's the behavior of a man who knows the storm's coming and is boarding up the windows. And 50? He's not just waiting for the storm. He's holding the weather report.
Now, you take 50, somebody who didn't win diamond, somebody who's still going on tours, somebody who's always been the opposition to Puff. You know, when you seen 50 show those funeral flowers that he got from Diddy, this has been an ongoing thing with them, and it's never gonna stop.
One thing's for sure, somebody's lying. Maybe it's 50, amplifying rumors to bury his rival. Maybe it's Jay, betting that silence will make the questions go away. Or maybe it's both. 2 masters of manipulation, locked in a game where the only rule is don't get caught. But the tapes? They're the wild card, the one piece of this puzzle that doesn't fit the narrative either side wants to sell. And the truth? It's hiding in plain sight, buried under layers of legal threats, deleted tweets, and the one question neither of them will answer. What's actually on them? Because in a war this dirty, the side that controls the footage controls the story. And right now, neither of them does. And let's talk about the money, because that's where this gets ugly. Jay-Z built his legend on control, on being the guy who always had the next move, the better deal, the untouchable empire. But right now, he's losing it. The documentary's out. The lawsuits are piling up. The brands are jumping ship. And the man holding the match, he's not done yet. Not even close. 50's already teased a second documentary, one that promises to go deeper into Jay's business dealings, his silent partners, and the real reason certain deals never saw the light of day. If the first one shook the foundation, the next one could collapse the whole house. And Jay? He's still standing there, watching it burn, with no fire extinguisher in sight. Here's what we know. Jay-Z's empire was built on 3 things: music, money, and an ironclad image.
Just different things that's not really beef though. That's just competitive.
Competitiveness.
All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him.
Okay, damn, all right.
But when the music's overshadowed by scandal, when the money starts walking out the door, and when the image cracks under the weight of its own contradictions, that's not a setback. That's a collapse. And the wildest part? The man who saw it coming isn't some industry insider or a bitter rival. It's the guy Jay tried to bury first, the guy he blocked from the Super Bowl, the guy he dismissed as a joke. That guy? He's the one.